also societal benefit in the eye of the Earth. And we need to do this because we've already had one pass at making government data available to third parties. We built it and they didn't come. That's what we heard loud and clear. They're not coming. So we've only solved part of the problem, which is a standards-based set of APIs to make government data accessible. What we're saying is you need to think about the other side of that platform. It's like starting eBay, not providing any tools for posting or publishing listings and not telling anybody that you're open to business. And so what we're proposing here is the whole of government data, so a data repository, standards-based open, a government data bus, which is leveraging open APIs, but Catalyst to create an ecosystem of third-party applications and services that leverage that and relying on the innovation of third parties. There are some considerations with that, not least of which is that a lot of government data today is siloed and culturally. We've got this federal, state, local government structure, and they're not always incented to work together. But what we think is needed is a three-pronged approach. One is focus on access and availability of data in the first instance. Second one is programmatically think about the rules of engagement for accessing this data and working with the data and rules of engagement in the ecosystem, and then incentives for ecosystem participation. And what you ultimately create is liquidity of interactions. So our policy recommendations, I won't go through them all, across three groups. So for access, examples being open and standards-based by default, so a whitelist, so the default being that the government will publish data and needs to have a good reason why they won't. Government to invest in free tools to allow or remove friction for accessing the data. As far as rules go, that there be federal, state, and local alignment. There has to be, this is a scale business. And also a reputation system so that people are participating in the ecosystem in the same way we're used to like an Uber 5-star rating. The ecosystem as a whole keeps everybody honest. In terms of incentives, government should use the platform internally for interdepartmental commerce. We also believe that there should be SPR-like grant, so a grant for companies that are wanting to develop applications and services on the platform. And if Australia does this, it'll be the leader in the world in terms of thinking of all of government as a platform. And we're proposing that there should be a global summit take place with other countries, where Australia sets the agenda and brings other countries to the table to create an ongoing dialogue and relationship, to share insights, technology, techniques. It happens in other sectors like the defence sector already. The second part of this is fixed procurement. So the problem here is that current procurement practices are biased towards big companies, and the tenders are already locked in and influenced by the big companies, which removes a lot of opportunity for small companies. So our recommendation here is earlier industry engagement, a requirement that there be a portion of spend allocated to profile of companies based on size. It happens in other parts of the world, like the US. And then the second one is an SBIR grant, again, to drive innovation within the vendor community. You could take it a step further, and you could also, we're moving to a world where technology is moving exponentially. The idea that we lock in these long 5-10-year contracts makes absolutely no sense. So you could set some hard and fast rules around length of contract, who you buy from, and also the size of the contract thresholds.
Time for one question.
So when you're talking about government as a platform there, it sounds like you're talking about access to government data. Are you talking about also updating government data? So is it transactional or just pulling information up that you can use for other services?
No, so in the platform model, the ecosystem model, there'd be interfaces for people to actually publish data to the data repository as well. So it's pull and push.
So you're talking about transactional updates?
Correct, real-time data.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I suspect you're going to find that legislation and understanding who the actual owner is of the canonical data is going to be a real issue. That you'll find a huge amount of overlap.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.